From KSAT 12, the news at noon starts right now.
And straight ahead on the news at noon, Bexar County and local law enforcement filing lawsuit to combat the opioid epidemic. The suit slapped against all opioid manufacturers, promoters, and distributors in the city. Details on what has sparked this major lawsuit.
Plus, it's sentencing day for former Crystal City manager William James Jonas III after he was convicted in a bribery scheme. Why the sentencing is hitting a snag today.
And North Korea threatening to cancel its upcoming summit between leader Kim Jong-un and President Trump, the latest on the possible change that is shaking things up. But first, once again, Bexar County announcing it is suing numerous opioid manufacturers, promoters, and distributors that it holds responsible for causing and contributing to an opioid epidemic in Bexar County.
KSAT 12's Garrett Behringer is at the Bexar County Courthouse where Judge Nelson Wolf just announced the suit. Now, Garrett, which companies are they actually taking to court?
Well, Stephanie, we haven't been able to get a hold of a copy yet ourselves. However, Wolf's chief of staff tells us that the lawsuit was filed last week in district court and has 99 defendants, though it appears that some of them are related entities. In any case, the Commissioner's Court motioned to file such a lawsuit about 7 months ago, and it appears it's now coming to fruition. Local leaders say Bexar County has been hit particularly hard by the national opioid epidemic. Whether it's through opioid-related deaths, children being born with withdrawal symptoms, or families torn apart by substance abuse. So any money the county receives through this lawsuit will go towards treatment for the opioid crisis.
It's a big burden on taxpayers now with this issue. Destroyed many lives, affected many families regardless of our economic income. So we believe that we're on the right track, and we hope that we're successful in the lawsuit.
This comes directly on the heels of lawsuits filed by Texas and other states against Purdue Pharma, which makes the painkiller OxyContin. However, Judge Wolf says the county's lawsuit is separate from the state's. Now, the county doesn't expect to go to trial for some 2 years now. In the meantime, a joint opioid task force has been working on solutions to the problem. Some of that includes trying to tamp down on the overprescription of opioid medications and trying to make naloxone, commonly known as Narcan, an anti-opioid treatment widely available. They're expected to give a report on their findings and recommendations this fall. Live at the Bexar County Courthouse, I'm Garrett Behringer, KSAT 12 News.
All right, thank you, Garrett. Other top stories at noon. A fourth arrest has been made in an ongoing human sex trafficking case of a teenage girl. Now, 3 men were arrested in connection to the case last week. Police say a call was made on May 8th for an injured 15-year-old girl. She told police she had been a victim of human sex trafficking. A sex crimes unit began interviewing the girl for several hours, which resulted in the arrest of 3 men. The man arrested last night is Juan Alvarez. He is 50 years old. Alvarez was picked up yesterday in the 9100 block of Broadway for an unrelated outstanding warrant.
We don't know if there's going to be any more arrests involving this 15-year-old child. But in this case, you know, she stated she was 18 years old. Doesn't matter if she stated she was 18 years old or not. This case, she is a 15-year-old child who cannot consent to sex.
Alvarez is being charged with trafficking of a child. 28-year-old Ray Hernandez, who was arrested last week, is charged with continuous trafficking of a person. 20-year-old Corey Acosta is charged with trafficking of a child, and 25-year-old Alfredo Herrera is charged with sexual assault of a child.
A car owner took things to the extreme after police say he used the vehicle as a weapon to run over a man. Police found the Mercedes in the 400 block of Hermosa on the north side around 2 this morning. They say the owner also used the car to run over an 18-year-old man. The two had been arguing earlier. The car owner left, but then came back later to pick up some people. Police say that's when the 18-year-old began bashing the car windows with a baseball bat, and the car owner ran over him. The man was taken to the hospital in stable condition. The suspect arrested and is facing charges.
A high-speed pursuit involving a motorcycle and DPS troopers sent 2 people to the hospital. DPS troopers say they tried to pull over a man and a woman on a stolen motorcycle on I-10 near FM 1516. They say the chase reached speeds of 100 miles an hour before the man on the motorcycle finally slowed down. The pair dropped the bike but were caught by DPS. Both were hospitalized.
An access road on the city's south side has reopened after an 18-wheeler accident overnight. It happened just after 11 last night along Interstate 35 near Loop 410. Crews say wet roads are to blame for the crash. Firefighters responded to the scene about an hour later when fuel started spilling from the big rig and the trailer's battery started sparking. No one hurt, but the roads were closed off for a few hours.
A brief sentencing hearing for the former city manager of Crystal City turned out to be another drawn-out process. Acting as his own attorney, William James Jonas III spent a considerable amount of time raising issues that the federal judge deemed untimely. She warned Jonas not to attempt to revisit the facts of the case. Jonas claimed that the pre-sentencing report in his case contained factual inaccuracies. Jonas was convicted last year on 18 counts of fraud and of soliciting and accepting bribes from people seeking to do business with the city.
Talks with North Korea hitting a setback ahead of the historic summit between President Trump and Kim Jong-un. Now questions are surfacing whether the president will end up sitting down with Kim next month in Singapore. ABC's Tara Palmieri has the latest on the possible sudden change.
Less than a month away from the historic peace summit, North Korea threatening to pull the plug. This after the North Korean Central News Agency called routine military drills conducted by the U.S. and South Korean forces a, quote, provocative military ruckus. And now North Korea's first foreign minister saying Kim Jong-un won't sit down with President Trump to talk denuclearization if the U.S. insists on, quote, unilateral nuclear abandonment. Taking a shot at National Security Advisor John Bolton, saying, we do not hide our feelings of repugnance towards him. Bolton had called for the same kind of nuclear abandonment in North Korea that was enacted in Libya. That is, strict monitoring and inspection to ensure denuclearization.
The one thing that Libya did that led us to overcome our skepticism was that they allowed American and British observers into all their nuclear-related sites.
Kim, just last month, committed to, quote, complete denuclearization at a summit with South Korean leader Moon. Today, the White House distancing itself from Bolton.
I haven't seen that as part of any discussions, so I'm not aware that that's a model that we're using. Look, again, this is the President Trump model.
And even adding they weren't surprised by the about-face from Kim.
Look, this is something that we fully expected.
Last week, while welcoming the 3 American detainees released by North Korea, President Trump said he was hopeful.
I really think he wants to do something and bring that country into the real world.
President Trump has certainly raised expectations, mentioning that some people say he already deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. At the same time, he's tempered them, admitting that it could all fall apart. Tara Palmieri, ABC News, the White House.
Michigan State University has reached a $500 million settlement with hundreds of women accusing Larry Nassar of sexual assault. Nassar was a sports doctor and stood trial in the worst sex abuse case in sports history. Nassar pleaded guilty to assaulting victims. He also possessed child pornography and is serving decades in prison. He treated campus athletes and young gymnasts at his Michigan State office. He had an international reputation while working at the same time for USA Gymnastics, which trains Olympians.
Coming up next, the Celtics are either really, really good or the Cavs are just not playing that good. Larry Ramirez will break it all down for you. Game 2 went to the Celtics last night. Got the highlights for you.
Plus, it's a huge groundbreaking. Details on the entertainment complex that's been long in the works in Cibolo and how it will attract people.
And stick around for this afternoon's Texas Lottery drawings. We'll have the numbers for you after they are drawn later on in the newscast. You are watching KSAT 12 News at noon.
It's the Great Outdoor Sale at Family Leisure. Unbeatable prices on pools, patio furniture, swing sets, spas, and more.
Explore the great outdoors with Kickapoo Lucky Eagle Casino Hotels campers and cash giveaway. Win a new teardrop trailer or up to $1,000 cash. Earn entries now through May 28th. Visit LuckyEagleTexas.com for details.
Come and play. If you feel the need for speed, don't miss the Top Gun sale at Valmark Chevrolet. Take off in a new Chevy Silverado and save $14,000. And always a year of free car washes. The Top Gun in saving you money is Valmark Chevrolet.
The $12.99 Papa's Meal Deal presents 12.99 seconds of better BMX. The $12.99 Papa's Meal Deal. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Your summer starts here with a great deal on a new Toyota. Qualified buyers get 0% APR financing for 60 months, plus a $2,000 special edition bonus on a new 2018 Tundra Crewmax Special Edition. Offers end June 4th.
Get your Toyota today.
Toyota, let's go places.
Kickapoo Lucky Eagle Casino Hotel invites you to come and play. Over 3,300 slots, a poker room, and live bingo. Join the new Players Club and play your way to greater rewards. Kickapoo Lucky Eagle Casino Hotel.
Come and play.
A Texas man convicted of murder more than 14 years ago will be executed tonight. 36-year-old Juan Castillo was set for lethal injection back in December, but he was granted a stay. The Texas Court of Criminal Appeals demanded the trial court review arguments from defense attorneys. Castillo's attorneys argue that a jail inmate gave false testimony during Castillo's 2005 trial. Now, Castillo was sentenced to death in the 2003 robbery and murder of 19-year-old Tommy Garcia Jr. Castillo will be the 11th convicted killer put to death this year in the U.S. and the 6th in Texas.
The city of Cibolo continues to grow as it broke ground today for a new Santikos Entertainment Center that will be paired with retail stores and residential units. Cibolo Crossing is a project by Santikos Entertainment and Fasken Oil that will eventually cost altogether $285 million. Cibolo Crossing will be on a 116-acre plot along I-35, 4 miles outside of Loop 1604. Phase 1 of the project will include the Santikos Entertainment Development Project. It should be opened by 2019. The center will have a movie theater, bowling arcade, laser tag, and outdoor live music venue.
There's 3 other quadrants of development that total to the 116 acres, and those will include a second phase of retail and also multifamilies.
The first phase of the Cibolo Crossing will cost about $57 million.
At least 4 people are dead and thousands are still without power after severe weather ripped through the Northeast. The powerful storm swept through the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast, downing trees and leaving a trail of destruction. In Pottstown, Pennsylvania, hail pelted neighborhoods. In Livingston Manor, New York, hail was followed by dangerous winds, and there were reports of possible tornadoes in several states. An 11-year-old girl died in Newburgh, New York, after a large tree crashed onto the car she was in. And Connecticut, 2 men were killed in separate incidents when trees crushed their vehicles. 2 others were also killed.
That's some pretty crazy weather up there. The tree on the car is that's just sad and horrible. Unbelievable.
It was intense, and they really don't see severe weather like that up there across the Northeast, but it was busy yesterday. We saw a few storms here around South Texas last night, some that packed a punch. All of that has dissipated, and we're left with lots of sun today. And the pollen count, this is the same as yesterday. We didn't get a new pollen count in today. We won't get one tomorrow, but we'll have a new one Friday. Everything's still likely low. Aquifer is actually down. The arrow should be pointing down, 0.6 of a foot to 659.6. We'll talk about the chances for rain again tonight and the hot weather ahead coming up.
Wainwright Injury Lawyers, winning the most money possible.
A car turned in front of me and we collided and broke my hand and wrist. Wainwright got me $136,446.
Call Power Lawyer Wainwright, 888-8888.
At iPack Nissan, we're here for you, always.
We're here to save you money, too. Like new Sentra, just $16,188. Or new Rogue Sport, just $19,495. New Titan XD, $13,000 off.
When you buy with iPack, you get an entire company dedicated to your ongoing satisfaction. Ingram Park Nissan is here for you.
Are you one of the millions of Americans suffering from chronic knee pain? Have you been told knee replacement surgery is your only option? Then call now to see if you qualify for a breakthrough, all-natural treatment for knee pain relief. By using an FDA-approved product that replenishes the lubricant in your joints, a cushioning layer is created, allowing you to move smoothly and pain-free. This treatment is covered by most insurance, including Medicare. Call now and get your mobility back.
Hey, what good is a brand new vehicle if you can't afford the down payment? At Red McCombs Toyota, you can set yourself up for summer vacation and drive with absolutely no money down. Plus, take $3,300 off a new 2018 Corolla or get 0 for $60. Or take $4,200 off a new 2018 RAV4 or 0% is available. So hurry to Red McCombs Toyota under the giant flag on I-10 at UTSA Boulevard.
RedMcCombsToyota.com. Wainwright Injury Lawyers, winning the most money possible.
My car was rear-ended, causing neck and spine injuries. The right lawyers got me $157,767.
Call Power Lawyer Wainwright, 888-8888.
It was 1924 when San Antonio Portland Cement, later known as Alamo Cement, moved just outside the city limits. Because of its remote location, the company created a community for those working at the plant. For nearly 70 years, Cementville had everything for their workers, including cottages, a schoolhouse, an auditorium, even a 35-piece Cementville band. In the 1980s, the cement plant relocated to the north side of San Antonio, and soon thereafter began the development of a new modern part of the city filled with shopping centers, a new neighborhood, even a golf course. Today, you can see some of the remnants of the cement plant here at the Alamo Quarry Market. You won't see any smoke coming from these smokestacks, but they're a reminder of what once existed.
San Antonio's Tricentennial Moments on KSAT 12 are powered by Frost Bank and Sierra Cars, Trucks, and RVs and Christus Santa Rosa Health System.
Voters are still heading to the polls to vote early in the joint primary runoff election. The polls will be open until 8 o'clock tonight. Early voting will end this Friday. Election day will be next Tuesday, May 22nd. We have links to a sample ballot and polling locations on our website. Just go to ksat.com/politics.
So last night we had a little thunder and lightning show. 10, 11, somewhere in there?
10 o'clock or so.
In there?
Yeah, storms that started all the way up around San Angelo, made their way all the way down in South Texas. Some of us got some rain. I know you did.
Got a little bit.
Here in San Antonio, it was definitely hit or miss.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, I got a little bit at my house. But the thunder and lightning were pretty intense. Here's the setup across Texas, and what I want to point out is the upper level winds. And this really dictates where storms move. And when we get winds out of the northwest like this in the upper part of the atmosphere, storms that develop around San Angelo or out in West Texas can sometimes make their way all the way into South Texas, and they'll move pretty quick. That's exactly what we saw last night, and guess what? We're still in that pattern. So I want to keep a close eye on what develops off to our north and west. And if it can develop into a cluster of storms, the potential is there again tonight to see some of those storms make their way down into South Texas. We'll see how that plays out. But the last 24 hours, you can see some of the activity that was up there across North Texas. Still a few leftover showers, too. And there were some of the remnants of the showers that moved through last night. We even saw a little bit of severe weather in some cases, some larger hail up around Ingram and the Kerrville area. And this is the 24-hour rainfall totals. It was a narrow corridor of some really good totals, 1 to 2 inches, even up to 2.5 inches up there across the northern parts of the hill country. Here in San Antonio, though, not a lot, as we mentioned. If you're on the far northwest side, you got some pretty good numbers, close to an inch, in fact, along I-10 there. But otherwise, the rest of the city, not so much. The airport, about 1/100 of an inch of rain. That was it. Visible satellite picture shows the clouds that we had have completely cleared out. So sunny skies and temperatures are jumping up very quickly. We look back out to the west to see if we can see any developing storms. It looks like there's a few clouds trying to get going there south of San Angelo. We're noticing some development out in the mountains of Mexico. And it's going to be one of those things where we're just going to have to watch the radar and see sort of what builds up out there. But there's a marginal risk, San Angelo down to Del Rio, of seeing some storms, perhaps on the stronger side. We could see a couple of warnings, just like we were looking at yesterday. Meantime, mostly sunny, 85 degrees. Dew point is at 64. That number's a little bit lower, so it feels a little bit better out there. West-southwesterly winds at 7 miles per hour. 88 currently in New Braunfels, 85 Cotulla. We're already up to 90 in Laredo. It's going to be warm today, and even warmer, I think, as we go into tomorrow, just because humidity levels will be down a little bit. We're in the mid-60s right now. Still some dew points in the 70s off to the east, but some much lower numbers as you get out to the west. The dew point tracker shows our lowest humidity levels will be tomorrow, and then it starts to ramp back up again as we go into the weekend. Here's what the computer model is showing. And yes, it does show those storms developing around San Angelo and working their way south and east again. The computer model has been showing this the last couple days. Yesterday it was correct. We'll see if it plays out again that way tonight. Forecast for this afternoon, 93 degrees, lots of sun, southerly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, 70, slight chance of storms. We'll keep that in the forecast. Otherwise, 95 tomorrow, 95 on Friday, our two warmest days. And then 92 Saturday and some slight chances of rain yet again Sunday into Monday, sort of like what we have today.
Getting up there in the 90s.
It is. Luckily, humidity levels come down a little bit.
Oh, that's good. Thanks, Justin.
All right, new today at 5, a scam alert targeting nearly 60 million older Americans waiting to receive their Medicare cards. How criminals could be taking advantage of vulnerable seniors. That could be you, your parents, or your grandparents. That story today at 5 after Entertainment Tonight. So when the the two series get started, thinking Boston and Houston, like early 80s. Remember when Boston played Houston in the finals?
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun to watch.
Celtics opened up their end, but
yeah, right now Houston, though, lost that first game to Golden State. And the Rockets will tell you they are who they are. They're not going to change. So can Golden State still go up 2-0 tonight? Plus, Marcus Smart will not allow J.R. Smith to be a bully. Coming up.
Do you have child custody problems and are ready to divorce? Contact the law office of Stephen Benke at benkelaw.com. We've helped thousands through the divorce process.
Thursday on GMSA, how a dad makes a difference in a child's vocabulary.
You know, fathers are not adjusting their speech to the child, but turns out that that's actually good.
Plus, the fashion and hats you can expect at the royal wedding.
Your mornings start here with GMSA.
You could win 50 at 5. Wait for Circle K's secret word of the day during KSAT's News at 5. Then enter it on KSAT.com for a chance at a $50 gift card. Every entry wins a Polar Pop. Corner store proudly becoming Circle K. And KSAT's News at 5.
Enjoy great deals during our spring sales event at West Loop Mitsubishi. Put more in your tank with this new 2018 Mitsubishi Mirage at only $9,744 or $93 per month. Go for a spin in this new 2018 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport at only $15,999 or $159 per month. Or in this new 2018 Mitsubishi Outlander at only $18,495 or $184 per month. We will give you the best price in town or $500 cash. We're open Monday through Saturday until 9 p.m. at Loop 410 West between Ingram and Culebra.
Matt McCall just might make Nancy Pelosi Speaker of the House. McCall's run for Congress twice before. He got swamped. With Democrats so close to controlling Congress, if McCall loses again, hello, Nancy. And McCall must know he's weak, because now he's using the same fake news attacks against Chip Roy that liberals use against Donald Trump. McCall for Congress, Pelosi for Speaker. Club for Growth Action is responsible for the content of this message.
The only way I probably won't get no sleep tonight if Kev don't get a question asked probably at the end of the day.
I'm looking at Dave. Don't do it, Dave. Well, I guess LeBron didn't lose any sleep because Kevin Love was asked 2 questions after the Cavs' latest loss in Big Board Sports. Golden State and Houston will resume the Western Conference Finals tonight. The Warriors grab home court from the Rockets by winning Game 1, 119-106. Steph Curry scored 18 points. Kevin Durant, a team-high 37, and Klay Thompson had 28. And the Warriors took control in the second half. So does winning the first game in any sense take some pressure off the Dubs?
No, we don't want to think like that because that's a trap. Still a lot of pressure on us. I mean, they're only 2 games away from having home court again, so it's not like they're far from out of it. So we believe the pressure's still on.
Rockets rolled to the best record in the league, thanks in part to pushing the pace, dropping threes, and James Harden's MVP style of play. So how important is it for them to stick to the plan and not try to do too much in Game 2?
That's what we do. That's what we've been doing all year long. We went literally 2 months, and I think maybe lost a game or 2 by doing what we do, so it won't change. We just got to do it better.
At the end of the day, we are who we are. You know what I mean? We got here playing the way that we play, and we just got to be us. I don't know. We are who we are. We got here 65 wins, so at the end of the day, I think we're going to be who we are. That's my answer to that.
Game 2 tonight at 8. The Rockets are favored by 2. Boston is controlling the Eastern Conference Finals. Game 2 certainly saw some chippy moments. Marcus Morris drives, scores. He draws the foul on Tristan Thompson, and Morris reacts by yelling all up in his face, which made Thompson a bit mad. Both talk some smack, and they'd eventually move on. Late in the fourth now, J.R. Smith shoves Al Horford with 2 hands in the back, sending Horford crashing down. Marcus Smart didn't appreciate that at all, so he went after Smith. They had to be separated. Boston takes it 107-94, taking a 2-0 series lead. Now, Smith admitted he did it on purpose. Smart, well, he's had enough.
I just looked at it, Al's, he's a defenseless, person. He's in the air. He can't control how his body goes, and he's not even looking in. You go and take two hands to the back. It's a dirty shot, and you just can't allow that to keep happening. This is not the first time JR has done some dirty stuff, especially playing against us. He's known for it, especially playing against us. We know that. So if it's like a bully, you keep letting the bully keep picking on you. He's gonna keep picking on you until you finally stand up, and that's what I tried to do. One of my guys was down, and I took offense to it.
LeBron James was amazing last night with a game-high 42 points, making one incredible shot after another. Apparently, though, being down 2-0 isn't a big deal to him.
How will I digest it? I'm going to go home tonight and see my 3 kids, see my family, recalibrate, see my mom. I think I'll be fine. I'm not going to lose sleep over it.
And Game 3 is Saturday night in Cleveland.
Don't want to lose any sleep.
Nope.
Yeah,
All right, got to get a good night's rest.
In 1981, the Celtics beat the Rockets 4-2.
Yep.
Bob Cousy was on the Celtics.
Yep.
Bill Russell was on the Celtics. Rudy Tomjanovich was on the Rockets.
Rudy T.
And Robert Reed, who played at St. Mary's here in San Antonio.
See, that I didn't know. That's really cool.
Pretty cool. There we go. So a little history lesson.
Well, hopefully the beard will come through.
She's worried about the beard.
I am worried.
Straight ahead, 2 people in custody after a series of robberies that turned into a wrong-way crash involving 2 police cruisers. The latest on the arrests and that dramatic pursuit.
The United Nations Security Council meeting to discuss the Middle East violence. More than 50 people, including 8 children, have been killed by the Israeli military. The violence erupting as the U.S. opened its new embassy in Jerusalem.
And First Lady Melania Trump has undergone a medical procedure to treat a benign kidney condition. The latest on her health and hospital stay coming up. But first, once again, 2 people accused of robbing a string of Northwest Side motels and are checking into Bexar County Jail. They were arrested after leading police on a chase, then crashing into the patrol cars early this morning.
The whole thing ended on Vance Jackson Road, just south of De Zavala. KSAT 12's Katrina Weber has that story live from Public Safety Headquarters. Katrina.
Yeah, that's right. The police have 2 very young people in custody. They're just 21 and 22 years old. And they tell us that one of them, the 22-year-old woman, has been to jail before. In fact, she just got out last Friday. The police have identified her as Gabriella Ritchie, and police say they do have evidence linking both her and 21-year-old Zachary Kankish to the series of crimes overnight, although both of them told us that they didn't do anything wrong. Police pulled them from their car at the scene of the crash on Vance Jackson near De Zavala early this morning. They say the pair hit 2 patrol cars during a chase. The officers believe their car is the one that was seen leaving the scene of several overnight robberies on the Northwest Side. And it took some doing, but police were able to arrest both of them.
They're accused of committing serious crimes in our city's Northwest Side. We're certainly glad that these officers were very cognizant and spotted the vehicle, and they weren't injured, and they were caught.
So they are accused of robbing 3 motels starting about 3 o'clock this morning. We saw investigators hours later at 2 of those motels, all of those along I-10 in that Northwest Side corridor. Now, one reason police were able to catch up with these suspects so quickly is that an officer was in the area actually investigating a whole other series of crimes. He saw the car described as the getaway car, and that's when the chase began, ultimately ending with that crash. And again, those officers were not seriously hurt. Reporting live from Public Safety Headquarters, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
All right, thanks, Katrina. Overseas now to another day of protests along Israel's border with Gaza. Over 50 Palestinians killed and hundreds injured. A dramatic contrast to what was happening just 40 miles away as the U.S. opened its embassy in Jerusalem yesterday. ABC's Molly Hunter has the latest on the chaos.
The body of a 25-year-old shot dead by an Israeli sniper yesterday is carried high above the heads of the crowd after prayers. The same exact scene playing out across the Gaza Strip today.
Prayers just got out of Gaza. This is the scene in every single neighborhood right now. Funeral marches, and every single guy here is going to go back out and protest when they bury their dead.
And here in Gaza and across the West Bank, people did go out to protest again. Yesterday's high death toll doesn't change anything. He says, we have nothing to lose. But back in New York, the U.S. blocked a UN Security Council statement that would have called for an independent probe into yesterday's death toll, the day the U.S. opened its embassy in Jerusalem.
It does not undermine the prospects for peace in any way. And yet, for some, this is supposedly a cause for violence.
But Ahmed, a 30-year-old we met near that Israeli Gaza fence, the center of the protests here, says he's not afraid and won't stop until Palestinians reach their capital of Jerusalem.
Now, you can actually see that fence with Israel. It's just about a quarter mile that way. You also see ambulances here set up very close to the front in case anything goes wrong. And those funerals are now over, and crowds are really starting to gather for another round of protests. Molly Hunter, ABC News, Gaza.
Back in the States, First Lady Melania Trump underwent a successful procedure to treat a kidney condition. The president joining her at Walter Reed Hospital last night. President Trump tweeting out updates on the First Lady's condition, saying, our great First Lady is doing really well. We'll be leaving hospital in 2 or 3 days. Thank you for so much love and support. The exact procedure and embolization performed to a pluggable blood vessel to stop bleeding.
This is not surgery, but it is an invasive procedure. It's done by interventional radiologists with consulting urologists. It can be either elective or emergency, and it selectively and strategically blocks off part of the blood supply to whatever organ is being embolized. That's either to slow growth of a benign mass.
The First Lady has recently raised her public profile. Just last week, she unveiled her Be Best campaign to combat cyberbullying in a Rose Garden ceremony. Days later, she was up at 3 a.m. on a tarmac at Joint Base Andrews greeting the detainees released from a North Korean prison when they landed. According to the White House, Mrs. Trump remained in, quote, good spirits, but will stay in the hospital until the end of the week.
And taking a live look outside with CityCam this afternoon, I noticed when I went running this morning, it didn't take me long to start sweating. Not today.
I wouldn't doubt it. It really doesn't matter what time of day, right? Because the humidity at night just makes it all that much worse. Right now, we're seeing mostly sunny skies. Temperatures are already up to 84 degrees here in San Antonio. If you missed the pollen count earlier, nothing to worry about. Mold's low, grass is low, no big issues there. We won't have the pollen count, by the way, next couple of days. We'll get it back on Friday. Satellite picture shows clouds really have scattered out. We still have some clouds holding on across our eastern counties. So Seguin, you're still underneath a few clouds, 85 degrees, 85 there in New Braunfels, 82 Uvalde, 79 up there around Los Maples, and skies have cleared there. So I think we'll see mostly sunny skies going into the afternoon. The one thing we will be watching for are some storms up to the north, perhaps across the hill countries. We could see some storms sliding in there this evening and tonight. Chances are at about 20%. 84 degrees again here in San Antonio, 65 the dew point, southerly winds at about 10. And the forecast calls for a high right around 91. We'll keep things mostly sunny. As we go into tonight, though, a few of those storms that move into the hill country, they could hold together, move towards San Antonio and during the overnight hours. We didn't see that last night, but the possibility is still there. We're going to talk more about that and look ahead to the weekend coming up here in just a few minutes. David?
Thank you, Justin. Now to California, where police say they made a troubling discovery removing 10 children from a home there. Police say they had injuries resulting from torture and were living in unsafe conditions. The couple being charged with crimes ranging from neglect to torture. Police investigating after allegedly discovering the couple's 10 children were living in those horrible conditions. The mother now defending herself and her husband and denying any wrongdoing. The mother actually called police for help back in March, reporting her 12-year-old son was missing. Officers say they were in shock when they brought the child home.
Officers located unsafe and unsanitary living conditions, including garbage and spoiled food.
Authorities removed the 10 children from the home, ages 4 months to 12 years. Police now bring even more serious charges against her husband, 28-year-old Jonathan Allen. He has pled not guilty to 7 counts of torture and 9 counts of felony child abuse.
Crews are no longer searching an area near Detroit for the remains of 7 girls believed to be buried. Authorities say the week-long excavation in Macomb Township has ended. Police are weighing whether to excavate 3 other locations in the state where they believe the suspect, Arthur Riam, could have taken the girls who have disappeared decades ago. The search began after police interviewed Riam. He was convicted of killing 13-year-old Cindy Zarziki, whose remains were found 10 years ago near the same wooded area. Now, Riam led police to the location.
A second murder arrest has been made in the brutal death of a woman whose body was found on the side of the road. The suspect not showing any remorse.
She didn't care about my family. She didn't care about my children. She didn't care about me.
21-year-old Paula Perez now in custody, charged with the murder of a San Antonio mother of 4. Perez is the second suspect arrested for the slaying of 20-year-old Brianna de la Cruz. The victim's body was discovered back on March 29th on South Foster Road with several gunshot wounds. Less than a week later, 30-year-old Kendrick Pugh was charged with the murder. Police now believe Pugh and Perez killed the woman over money.
Coming up next on the news at noon, a longtime innovative journalist and novelist has passed away. Details on the death of Tom Wolfe and his legacy.
The Cowboys had a successful rookie free agent minicamp. Hear from them coming up in sports. Back to that late-breaking news. Police and a SWAT team are on the scene of a standoff situation at a motel just south of downtown. The suspect barricaded inside a room. The latest on this standoff coming up in just a second.
Plus, a group of city leaders are letting their voices be heard. They are protesting the idea the Republican National Convention could be held right here in San Antonio.
All right, I want to get you back to that SWAT situation south of downtown. San Antonio Police Department, SWAT team members, and negotiators on the scene of that standoff.
KSAT's Bill Barajas is there live right now at the Travel Lodge in the 1100 block of South Laredo. Now, Bill, what can you tell us?
Yeah, it's now going on about 3 hours since this first started. In the last few minutes, we have listened and watched as negotiators try to communicate with the suspects using a loudspeaker, asking them to come out peacefully, but obviously that has not happened. I want to give you a look at the scene there. You can see members of the Lone Star Fugitive Task Force and SAPD are just in front of that Travel Lodge. Now, we're told a man and woman are inside. The one wanted on a robbery charge, and the man wanted for an aggravated robbery charge. Now, this started at around 9:40 this morning. Police said the Lone Star Fugitive Task Force was trying to serve a warrant for the suspects when they realized what was happening and locked themselves in a room and refused to come out. We are told they have barricaded the door with a mattress. Now, while on scene, we've seen SWAT members and members of the Lone Star Fugitive Task Force with their guns drawn and shields out. We are unsure at this time if there are any weapons inside the motel. Police telling us this is now a waiting game, and they are trying to do everything in their power to make sure this ends peacefully. Just live just south of downtown, Bill Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
All right, thanks, Bill. A question of values, brand, dollars, and security. A coalition of local groups and officials making their case against the possibility of San Antonio hosting the 2020 Republican National Convention. Now, the group laid out their reasons at the Bexar County Courthouse. KSAT 12's Garrett Behringer joins us live there, and it sounds like they're pretty dead set.
Yes, absolutely. Though some speakers, including Commissioner Tommy Calvert, noted that they weren't against the RNC ever coming to San Antonio. It's just with President Trump at the head of the party. Now, numerous speakers talked of how the president's inflammatory comments and styles clash with the values that San Antonio holds dear. They also raised concerns about security amid a tense political climate and the possibility of lost dollars spent by Mexican nationals here in San Antonio. Tommy Calvert called the assembled group a growing coalition and warned of pushback if their concerns aren't heeded.
Should our arguments surrounding our security, our brand, and our economy fall on deaf ears, this growing coalition will vote on whether to hold accountable elected officials and boycott businesses that support this nomination process. They have the freedom to support, and we have the freedom to not support.
Now, the Bexar County GOP is urging the city government, on the other hand, to consider San Antonio's bid carefully, preaching the possibility of economic gain. Now, the party also said it was looking forward to presenting some of the positives of hosting the 2020 RNC to the city council sometime in the near future. Live at the Bexar County Courthouse, I'm Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Garrett. Other late-breaking news, 2 people are dead after a C-130 crashed in Savannah, Georgia. We have learned the cargo plane belonged to the Puerto Rico Air National Guard. It went down near Savannah Hilton Head International Airport around 10:30 this morning, San Antonio time. Now, a total of 5 people were on board.
Tensions rising between President Trump's legal team and Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation, possible obstruction of justice and campaign collusion with Russia. Special Counsel Robert Mueller has told President Trump that he will subpoena him to come in and talk if he refuses to cooperate. And after months of negotiating, talks stalled between Trump's lawyers and the special counsel. Just recently, former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani was brought on to the president's legal team to strike a deal. Legal analysts say if the president refuses to comply with the subpoena, it could lead to a showdown in the Supreme Court.
I think that the only real crisis occurs if you have, in the end, a real war between 2 branches of government where one is saying, you can't tell me what to do.
Just this week, President Trump's attorneys have charted out the questions that Mueller's team might ask the president. Among the topics, the firing of former FBI Director James Comey and the firing of former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn.
President Trump's health is back in the spotlight. His doctor is out with a new claim that President Trump himself dictated a letter indicating he was in good health after members of the Trump Organization raided his office. During the 2016 campaign, Donald Trump's longtime physician, Dr. Harold Bornstein, declared Trump to be the healthiest individual ever elected to the presidency. CNN reporting that Dr. Bornstein told them, quote, President Trump dictated that whole letter. I didn't write that letter, end quote. Dr. Bornstein also claims that in February of last year, a team of Trump staffers raided his office, seizing the president's medical records.
I was completely surprised. I feel raped, frightened, and sad.
The White House does not deny that records were taken from Dr. Bornstein's office, but they say it wasn't a raid. A spokesperson for the Trump Organization says Bornstein was cooperative and voluntarily turned over the medical records.
All right, let's get outside, check with city cam, see what it looks like out there. A few clouds around. We know Ursula Perry is down covering all the 300 commemorative events, and she's avoided all the rain, but we'll be able to avoid it, continuously.
Well, I think we avoid it today, but it'll be a different story as we get into the next couple of days. You saw out there right now, we're seeing the sun starting to shine through. That means temperatures are warming up quick. We're already up to 80 here in San Antonio. We're looking at mid-80s this afternoon. If you missed the pollen count earlier, here it is. Mold is in the high category. All this humidity continues to kick up those mold spores. Pecan, grass, and pine all low right now. There's a look at the satellite picture with temperatures, and you can see the breaks here over San Antonio and Bexar County now, and that means these temperatures are really going to start to jump up. We're already at 82 at Stinson, 80 Divine. We could see some 90s off to the west where the air is a little bit drier, but that also may help to spark off a thunderstorm or two across our western counties this afternoon as a big upper level low makes its way across the country. We're seeing some energy from that. We're also going to get a weak cool front as we finish out the week, and that'll bring some better rain chances by Friday. For today, though, mostly cloudy, temperatures right around 84, 85 degrees. And breezy and humid conditions continue. We'll talk about our rain chances as we go into the weekend coming up here in just a bit. Guys.
Thanks, Justin. A Southwest flight from Chicago to Newark, New Jersey forced to land today after a window cracked. Now, one passenger sent her son a picture of the damaged window, texting, "Window on plane cracked during flight." The plane landed in Cleveland. The passenger says she just heard loud noise. Now, this incident comes just 2 weeks after another Southwest flight made an emergency landing due to engine failure, killing a passenger.
A shootout at Northwest Side apartment complex back here at home has left one man dead and possibly one other person wounded. Police say they received several calls around 8:30 this morning about the gunfire at the Branch and Medical Center apartments. When officers arrived on Snowden Drive near Babcock, they found one man dead on the balcony of an apartment. And they say he and another person had been arguing with a group of people who showed up at the home. Suddenly, their angry words led to gunfire.
I don't know which of the individuals were shot first or who shot second. I don't know that, but there was plenty of shots exchanged, and again, one down, one dead, and one possibly injured.
Police checking to see whether a gunshot victim who showed up at a nearby hospital was wounded in that shooting. They say they did find a handgun at the scene.
San Antonio police have arrested an 18-year-old woman on charges of trafficking a minor. The police department posted this picture of Brianna Starks on its Facebook page overnight. She was identified by minors who were trafficked for prostitution. Police say Starks helped two male suspects to promote, recruit, and entice young women into prostitution. The Lone Star Fugitive Task Force arrested her without incident. And coming up, next on the news at noon, Kanye West setting off another firestorm, what the rapper said about slavery in a recent interview.
And a couple more guys trying to impress an NFL team. Larry Ramirez with that coming up in sports. Straight ahead, another way of students' walkouts are taking place across the nation today. The students holding rallies pushing for tougher gun laws and increased school safety. We are live from one local school where students are calling for change.
Plus, sentencing day for James Bradley, the truck driver who pleaded guilty for his role in the smuggling operation that led to 10 deaths. More on how many years he will spend behind bars.
And we're taking a live look at St. Martin's Episcopal Church in Houston, where former First Lady Barbara Bush is lying in repose. An outpouring of tributes continues for Mrs. Bush. More coming up. Today is a National School Walkout Day. Students-led rallies are in memory of the Columbine High School shooting in Littleton, Colorado, which left 13 people dead. Students are speaking out against gun violence.
KSAT 12's Garrett Berger was out at Churchill High School while over 100 students gathered outside the school. Garrett, tell us about that scene.
Well, the front of the school is quiet now, but behind me is the area where students came out, and it was filled just 2 hours ago. They came trickling out at about 10 a.m., some of them carrying signs, others wearing orange ribbons. It was originally planned as a silent protest, but chants and cheers occasionally broke out as cars drove past, beeping their support. Now, though it's been 2 months since the Parkland shooting, these kids aren't giving up on calling for gun reform.
We had a town hall with Congressman Lloyd Doggett, and one of the things he said is one of the reasons the NRA is so powerful is because they're so persistent. So for us, a lot of our power comes in our persistence with this. And seeing 2 months and this much traction still there is really encouraging.
Student organizers at other schools who we spoke with had planned similar events, and like here, most planned to go back into class after they were done. Though at least one of those organizers said there was another group at her school that had planned to stay out. Now, while this protest is about calling for gun legislation, the organizers here didn't have any specific reforms they were calling for. One of them told us that action for everyone means something different. But in their eyes, they're not seeing anything happen, and they want that to change. Live at Churchill High School, I'm Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
And today, students are walking out of class to protest and promote gun control. Gunfire erupted at a high school in Florida, leaving one student injured and one arrested. The shooting happened this morning inside a classroom at Forest High School in Ocala, Florida. Authorities say one student shot another in the ankle after an argument. The injured student was taken to the hospital, and the other student was led away in handcuffs. The shooting is still being investigated.
And at noon, James Matthew Bradley Jr. will spend life in prison for his role in a human smuggling operation that led to the deaths of 10 people discovered in a tractor trailer in a Walmart parking lot here in San Antonio. KSAT 12's Jesse Degollado is live at the federal courthouse with the details.
Well, Tiffany, by rejecting pleas for mercy, the prosecutors say that by sending the 61-year-old truck driver to life in prison should send a strong message to employers here in the U.S.
You are contributing to this problem. You are creating the incentive to take very vulnerable people who are fleeing horrible conditions in their home countries and creating the incentive to take them to the United States in these horrible, horrific, deadly conditions.
Bradley showed no emotion during the sentencing, although in a video showed by his defense team, Bradley apologizes for what was found in the back of his tractor-trailer rig. He said the scene will haunt him the rest of his life, which is how long Bradley will be in federal prison for the deaths of those 10 immigrants. The U.S. attorney pointed out that even if they were able to punish every cartel that's involved in human smuggling, he says that employers are really to blame by luring many of these people who are desperate to work here in the United States. We're live outside the federal courthouse. Jesse Degollado, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Jesse. The war of words between President Trump and fired FBI Director James Comey continues. 15 pages of declassified notes from Comey, adding fresh claims about their private conversations and possible obstruction of justice. New release memos from Comey shows President Trump's apparent fixation with the so-called dirty dossier leakers and the fate of his former national security advisor Michael Flynn. Comey writes in his memos that the president asked him about an allegation in the dossier that was filmed in a Moscow hotel with prostitutes. Comey says the president even asked him to investigate the matter so the First Lady Melania Trump could be reassured that the claims are false.
And he interrupted, started talking about it. You know, do I look like a guy who needs hookers?
Comey also says President Trump asked him in a later conversation to be easy on Flynn. President Trump fired back, tweeting memos just out and show clearly that there was no collusion and no obstruction. Also, Comey leaked classified information.
And this morning, it started off cool, and so far, clear skies. A little bit
kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yes. Low temperature this morning, 58. We're only up to 63 now. So with the clouds we've had around today, not a whole lot of a warm up. Now, over the next few hours, I think we're going to see a little bit of sun peeking through. And like I said, warming us up into the low 70s. But really not a warm day today by any means. Winds are out of the east, just at about 15 miles per hour. Humidity sitting right at 60%. Now, we have been watching some rain off closer to the border this morning. Pretty big swath of rain from Del Rio down to south of Eagle Pass. But as that has moved east, it has really started to fall apart here. And there's a little bit of very light rain in South Bexar County right now. But that is it. So as we head into the afternoon hours, be looking for a little bit of sun. Temperatures in the upper 60s, low 70s when the kiddos are heading home from school. But it is going to stay pretty cool today. And I think that's some good news if you're heading out for any fiesta activities. No rain this evening, but rain chances do return tomorrow. We'll talk about that in our full forecast. That'll be in just a few minutes. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Katie. A Florida community is mourning the loss of 2 sheriff deputies shot and killed in an ambush. Sergeant Noel Ramirez and Deputy Sheriff Taylor Lindsay from Gilchrist County were shot yesterday. The sheriff's office said the 2 men were eating at a restaurant in Trenton when a man walked up and shot them without warning. The shooter was identified as 59-year-old John Hubert Hino. He was found dead outside the restaurant. There's still no word yet on a motive.
This is a live look from St. Martin's Episcopal Church, where former First Lady Barbara Bush is lying in repose. People are already preparing to say farewell to her. Mrs. Bush died on Tuesday at age 92 from congestive heart failure. A public viewing is currently underway. Meantime, as former First Lady Barbara Bush lie in repose at St. Martin's Episcopal Church, Mrs. Bush touched so many lives. ABC's Natalie Brunell joins us from Houston with more on the celebration of her life.
Over the next 2 days, St. Martin's Church, where the Bushes raised their children, will play host to community members, world leaders, and Barbara Bush's family and friends in a celebration of the former First Lady just the way she intended it.
She really wanted it to be very simple. She thinks, she would say she didn't want much fuss.
The Bush's pastor of 10 years, knowing very well what her family also knew. Barbara had an unshakable calm when it came time to say her final goodbye.
My grandmother was so at peace at the end. It was really a peace that was set in her incredible faith. It's also a peace that I believe was derived by having her husband there by her side.
The matriarch of a political dynasty, hers was a life well lived, marked by a lasting impact on so many generations. At At the Barbara Pierce Bush Elementary School in Houston, where she often visited, she continues to inspire children to dream big.
She's read a story to us, and she inspired lots of people to read more often.
Literacy, a big part of her legacy, spreading light and joy with the same energy Barbara Bush brought to life every day.
This is not sad. This is celebrating an extraordinary life that she always recognized.
A private funeral will be held here at the church tomorrow at 11 a.m. for about 1,500 guests. The Obamas, the Clintons, and First Lady Melania Trump are all scheduled to attend. The White House says President Trump will not be here because his added security would disrupt the ceremony. Natalie Brunel, ABC News, Houston.
Barbara Bush's funeral will be held tomorrow in Houston at St. Martin's Church. Services begin at 11 a.m. We will have a crew in Houston, and we'll carry the services in a live stream on our website, ksat.com. It'll be a simple service following the wishes of the former First Lady, as you heard. A private burial will be held in College Station.
Only one person may have pulled the trigger, but San Antonio police are looking for 3 people in connection with a murder. Someone shot and killed 33-year-old Robert Cerna early this morning outside a Southside Motel 6. Officers who answered the call around 1 a.m. found him in the parking lot of the motel near Interstate 37 and Hot Wells. A police report says Cerna was talking to a woman there when 2 men came out of a hiding nearby. There was a confrontation and Cerna was shot twice in the head. Police say all 3 people, including the woman, sped away in a black sedan.
Coming up in a few minutes of Big Board Sports, yeah, that guy's got that foul ball, but what he had to go through to get it, almost hurt himself.
Plus, Wells Fargo facing a hefty fine. Find out just how much the bank will have to pay up in a huge scandal that impacted customers.
But first, as we go to breakers, look at those winning lottery numbers. You are watching KSAT 12 News at noon.
Viva Fiesta San Antonio from the VisionWorks family.
Wells Fargo will have to shell out a whopping $1 billion to federal regulators to settle charges tied to its mortgage and auto lending business. It appears that none of the money will go directly to the victims of Wells Fargo's abuses, though. Last year, the bank was accused of charging as many as 570,000 clients for car insurance they didn't need and charging mortgage borrowers unfair fees. Wells Fargo also opened 3.5 million fake customer accounts by employees forced to meet aggressive sales goals.
And Dick's Sporting Goods plans to destroy all the assault rifles pulled from its store shelves. Back in February, the store announced it would stop selling weapons like the one used to kill 17 people in Parkland, Florida school shooting. Dick's preferred not to say how the weapons will be destroyed. The company previously said it will also raise the minimum age for all gun sales to 21. The CEO and other executives were moved to take action after hearing the Parkland survivors' demand for gun control. And new tonight at 6. Tonight at 6, she's focused, she has moves, and she has the skills. She's just 5 years old. Meet the local girl whose basketball skills is getting her a lot of attention at her local YMCA coming up tonight.
Look at her dribbling.
I know.
You see that?
Skills, moves, that's right.
That's awesome. All right, so last night Fiesta got started. Tonight it continues.
Yes.
And it's all about the weather now. Hate to drop that in your lap like that, but
yes. So yesterday was great, right? Humidity was low. I mean, it was very, very enjoyable out there. And for any activities this evening, it's going to be cloudy, but that's going to help to keep us a little bit cooler. And we're not going to have any rain to worry about until tomorrow. And even the showers that will be around tomorrow, I don't think are going to give you too much trouble at all. So we'll talk about that coming up. The aquifer is down 0.4 foot in the last 24 hours. I have some folks in the newsroom here saying, what is in the air today? Still pretty crummy. It's the oak. It's back up to a high count today of 910. Then we got mold, sycamore, pecan, grass, and willow tree. All for you right here. Your full forecast is up in just a few minutes.
Hey, straight ahead, we're going to get you back to that late-breaking news. Surprise discovery. Animal Care Services locating dozens of animals found at a home, and it isn't the first time animals have been seized from that home.
Plus, the latest after one person is killed when a Southwest Airlines plane makes an emergency landing due to engine failure while in midair. We're going to have more on what led up to that fatal encounter.
As we mentioned, that late breaking news, we're continuing to follow the seizure of almost 50 animals at a home on the west side.
Animal Care Services recovered puppies, pheasants, and a large amount of exotic birds. Of course, KSAT 12's Bill Barajas has been on the scene all morning long. So, Bill, has ACS now wrapped up, and have you been able to talk to the homeowner?
Yeah, we talked to the homeowner just a couple of minutes ago. She did not want to go on camera and was obviously very upset, but thankful, she tells us, that they let her keep at least 2 of her cats. Now, this all started at about 9:30 here at home on the 200 block of Pendleton. Neighbors initially alerted ACS about the situation because of the noise and smell. Now, ACS tells me the conditions inside were very unsanitary. There were just too many animals in a very small space. Luckily, it appears all the animals seem to be in okay shape, but ACS says they will have their vet evaluate them. Now, as far as the homeowner, ACS says they have had to deal with her in the past.
This has been a lady that we've been kind of working on and off with for the better part of over 2 years. We have actually removed animals from location before. So when we got some calls about the smell and things like that, came out, investigated, and it turns out she's reverted, back to collecting animals.
And ACS says they will wrap up their investigation and then decide whether the homeowner will be charged. As of right now, she is not being charged with anything. Live on the west side, Bill Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
Thanks for that update, Bill. Now we want to update you on the deadly engine explosion on a Southwest flight that we first told you about yesterday on the news at noon. The mid-air blast shattering a window and hurling shrapnel into the plane. It killed a mother on board. It was the first deadly accident involving a domestic airline since 2009. ABC's Aaron Katersky has the latest on the circumstances surrounding that landing.
The left engine of Southwest Flight 1380 showed signs of metal fatigue. 20 minutes into the flight from New York City to Dallas, it exploded, sending debris through this window and into a passenger.
I can't say that I slept very well last night, and I'm sure most passengers did not sleep very well last night. I'm terribly, terribly sorry for the family. My heart goes out to them.
With the cabin rapidly depressurizing, Peggy Phillips, a registered nurse, removed her oxygen mask and began CPR.
I just did what I do, and it kicked in. I did what needed to be done, what any registered nurse would do.
Jennifer Reardon, a married mother of 2, died from her injuries. Relatives called her the bedrock of our family. At least 7 passengers were injured. Others braced for the worst, at least one hopping online to communicate with family.
If these are my last few moments on Earth, like I want people to know what happened. And it was just the most terrifying experience.
Engines do fail, but the debris is supposed to be contained.
It's very unusual, and so we are taking this event extremely seriously. This should not happen.
Southwest had an uncontained engine failure in another 737 2 years ago.
We don't know the cause of this incident, and it's premature to even link it to other engine failures that have occurred.
Investigators will now work to determine whether there's a broader problem with 737 engines. A piece of this one was found 60 miles away from the Philadelphia airport. Aaron Katersky, ABC News, New York.
And just today, passengers on a Southwest flight from Nashville experienced some frightening moments as well. Flight 577 took off from Nashville International Airport and then was forced to turn around minutes later after the plane struck a bird. The aircraft will be taken out of service to be checked out. 70 passengers were on board. Southwest says they're working to get those passengers to their destinations.
We are learning that CIA Director Mike Pompeo met with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un just a few weeks ago. The White House says on Easter weekend, in absolute secrecy, Pompeo traveled to Pyongyang and met with Kim Jong-un. President Trump says the meeting went very smoothly and a good relationship was formed. He also says details of a summit are being worked out now. Denuclearization will be a great thing for the world, but also for North Korea. The president hopes the talks will lead to that one-on-one summit like in early June.
Let's see what happens. We'll either have a very good meeting or we won't have a good meeting. And maybe we won't even have a meeting at all, depending on what's going in.
The president said they narrowed the location to 5 possible venues. One senior U.S. official said China won't be one of them, nor is the U.S. likely. Next week, the North and South are set to hold their summit and have agreed to have portions of the meeting broadcast live.
Taking a live look outside with CityCam, we have got a pretty day on tap. It's just not quite there yet.
Well, skies will clear and we'll see lower humidity moving in. So almost improving conditions, if you want to call it that. We started off sort of cloudy and humid this morning. Want to pass along the pollen count. If you missed it earlier, oak is in the moderate category, but it's going down. Mold, pecan in there in the low categories. Willow and sycamore showed up today. Grass also low. And as we take a look at the satellite picture, you can see where that front is. It's moving through San Antonio as we speak, and there are the clouds. Once those pass by, we'll see those clearing skies. Sun will pop out, and I still think we'll get close to 80 today, despite the fact we have this front moving through. 75 right now in Helotes, 75 Boulevardy, 74 New Braunfels, 71 currently in Seguin. Forecast calls for those temperatures top out close to 81 degrees. We'll call it partly cloudy with lower humidity by 10 o'clock. There still could be a stray shower south of San Antonio as we go into the evening hours. Coming up, we're going to talk about rain chances for the weekend, and could we see any strong storms? We'll have more on that coming up in just a bit. David?
Thank you, Justin. The latest on Bill Cosby's sexual assault trial. Today, the mother of his accusers taking the stand. Gianna Constant says Cosby described in graphic detail his sexual encounter with her daughter and then apologized. Constant told the jury she called Cosby demanding to know the medication he had given her daughter. She says her daughter's behavior changed after leaving Temple University in March of 2004, about 2 months after the alleged assault. Cosby is charged with drugging and molesting Andrea Constant.
Presidents, first ladies, and many who knew Barbara Bush are praising her devotion to the nation, her family, and literacy. The former First Lady passed away yesterday in Houston at the age of 92. She was diagnosed with Graves' disease in the 1980s and also had congestive heart failure and COPD, which affects the lungs. Mrs. Bush was 16 years old when she met President George H.W. Bush. They were married for more than 70 years. A makeshift memorial lies outside of her gated community, and neighbors are saying that she will be missed.
I just think she was just the ultimate lady. She was the ultimate lady, and they had the ultimate marriage, and she just was so kind and gentle, and yet had a fabulous sense of humor. Fabulous sense of humor.
She will be laid to rest on the library grounds next to her daughter, Robin Bush. We will be live streaming the funeral service this Saturday at 11 a.m. It'll be from Houston on our website, ksat.com.
Back here at home, a massive fire at a Northwest Side used car lot. Now just a charred shell with litter debris and flames after it ripped through there. Fire tore through a building, and at least 5 cars this morning at the lot on Bandera Road near Mainland Drive. It broke out at some time before 7 o'clock, attracting the attention of rush hour drivers on the busy road. Firefighters noticed it too before even reached the area.
And the first units responding reported they could see heavy smoke as they were coming down Bandera. So when we arrived on scene, the building was already fully involved.
The fire was so intense that they had to fight it strictly from the outside. At one point, they were worried about the fire spreading to other businesses in the area, but firefighters managed to put out the flames. Arson investigators are trying to determine the cause of that fire.
Coming up next on the news at noon, Via Metropolitan Transit officially introducing its newest and biggest compressed natural gas fueling station. What you can expect.
Spurs trying to build on some positives from Game 2 as they get ready for Game 3 tomorrow night. Larry Ramirez with more on that in sports. But first, here's a look at those winning lottery numbers. You're watching KSAT 12 News at noon.
Watch GMSA starting April 16th to find out which area HEB will be giving away your free KSAT 12 Fiesta medal.
Wainwright Injury Lawyers, winning clients the most money possible.
My accident caused a broken femur, ankle, ribs, and shoulder blade. The Wright lawyers won me $146,955.
Call Power Lawyer Wainwright, 888-8888.
Work hard for
a lifetime.
I'm sure you've heard Becky say that line before, but I want to let you know what that means for you. World Car provides you with a lifetime warranty on every new car for as long as you own it. Should you need it, it covers costly items and repairs. Plus, you're provided with 24/7 roadside assistance anywhere and forever. For your next new vehicle, see the dealer that provides a great service to you.
World Car for a lifetime.
San Antonio is awesome. We can make it even better. We want a strong future workforce, lower school dropout rates, and more engaged local citizens. How do we do it? Early childhood education, of course. Pre-K for SA was designed to get us there, with education centers, grants, and teacher development. Pre-K for SA will impact over 200,000 students by 2020. Look out, San Antonio. Here we come.
Pre-K for SA. Early inspiration, future success.
Wainwright Injury Lawyers, fight to win.
I was at the eye doctor when a car crashed into the wall and hit me. I had shoulder and knee injuries. Wainwright got me $246,599.
Call Wainwright Injury Lawyers now.
This month is National Donate Life Month, and today KSAT 12 along with our community partners are hosting a phone bank. The number to call on your screen, 210-351-1363. Now, we are hoping to raise awareness about becoming an organ donor and saving lives. Today, one family is speaking on giving the gift of life. Dale and Joy Christian. They tragically lost their son Dylan in a car accident back in 2014. Dylan fell asleep at the wheel. He hit a concrete barrier. He suffered severe head trauma and died. And they soon found out that he was an organ donor. His organs were then given away, and they saved the lives of 4 other people. The family says the lives that were saved gives them peace and comfort.
That was a way of God really starting the healing process with us, that he was bringing good out of a bad situation. And a really good part of it was that we knew Dylan would still, part of him will still be in other people.
Such an inspiring story. Now, one woman received Dylan's cornea. She was able to see again. 3 other people benefited from Dylan's organs as well. And did you know that the Texas Organ Sharing Alliance serves more than 7 million people in 56 Central and South Texas counties? There is a shortage, though, of organ donors in this country, and that's the reason for our phone bank. David Sears is standing by now with more on how you can help.
As you can see, we've got a lot of volunteers in Studio B. Clarissa Thompson is here as well. First off, 11,000 people are waiting for donations just here in Texas alone.
That's right, 11,000 men, women, and children. So there's a critical need, and one person can make a huge difference by saving 75 lives just by signing up.
And you see the folks here. We've got some police officers who have volunteered. Of course, they've had a couple of officers that have lost their lives but have donated organs. And I think Police Officer Green was telling us earlier that 8 lives were saved from Moreno and Decker, those
That's
2 officers,
right.
when they lost their lives. So you can sign up and you can save lives. And
you can make a difference, and it's so easy to do. I mean, just call in today and we'll help you out.
Why do you think people are hesitant when it comes to signing up? When you ask them, why do you not sign up? What's the answer?
Well, there's a lot of misconceptions out there. The number one reason people don't sign up is they think they will not receive the proper health care if they are a registered organ donor. But the fact is, donation is only considered after every life-saving effort has happened. And actually, doctors and nurses don't even have access to the registry. It's Texas Organ Sharing Alliance that is able to verify someone's registration.
And it's easy.
It's super easy.
How easy is it?
So easy. You can call in today. We'll send you a form, and you can even get a free Fiesta medal.
We're getting that. We're at Fiesta time, so a little incentive. So if you call in today, you fill out the form, you take it to your office, and look what you get. You get a Fiesta. Everybody wants a Fiesta medal, so be an organ donator and get a Fiesta medal. How do you beat that?
Yeah,
that's pretty good. And the serious part of it is you're saving lives.
You're saving lives, 75 lives from one organ, eye, and tissue donor.
From one organ, eye, and tissue donor. That's absolutely amazing. All right, Clarissa, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Phone number right there. There it is, 351-1363. Call up. Hey, you know,
so many people, their lives are hanging in the balance. I'm sure everyone out there has someone who needs an organ donated. So call now. Moving on to other news, compressed natural gas, referred to as CNG fuel. It is known for being cleaner, more abundant, and cheaper. Today, VIA held an official dedication for its newest and now largest compressed natural gas fueling station in the country. Last year, VIA started the process of undergoing a full conversion to CNG fuel, which will be completed in 2020. The fueling station has 10 fueling lanes. It's also where CPS drops off natural gas and is compressed and converted into CNG fuel.
For our region, it means cleaner air, healthier environment. For our riders, it means a quieter trip.
This CNG station will save VIA $8.5 million in fuel costs per year, a big payback from the $11 to $12 million invested in building that fueling station. Arndt says that the next step several years into the future is to look into a fleet of electric buses.
Live look outside with City Cam. Clean air, cool air. This is what we like right here, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the good stuff. You know, April has been pretty good to us so far. And we're seeing a cool front move through today. That means we'll see a nice evening tonight. Some coolish temperatures overnight tonight. We only got down to 65 last night, so that was fairly warm. 75 is the high so far today. I think we'll get pretty close to the average of 81. No rainfall. There could be a few light showers south of San Antonio today. But the better chance for rain, and hopefully we'll get a little bit, is this weekend. We'll talk more about that forecast coming up.
There was always the concern that they could start firing at any time.
A 51-day standoff.
I knew we had a very, very dangerous situation.
A fiery end.
There were different times I saw David Koresh from the window.
Tonight at 10, a witness to Waco on the Night Beat.
I was driving home from church and a drunk driver smashed into my car, and I was really scared because I had never been in an accident like that before. I'm really glad that I called Jim Adler because I was able to get a new car, have my medical expenses covered. I would definitely recommend calling Jim Adler just because it was so convenient, it was so easy. They take care of everything.
I'm Jim Adler, the Texas Hammer, and you can count on me to fight for you.
210-531-0000.
When celebrating Fiesta, let's keep the San Antonio area safe. Join the millions of American adults who have either been a designated driver or used one.
Thanks to Texans drinking responsibly, drunk driving fatalities are at a record low. Let's continue to keep San Antonio roads safe.
Make a plan to make it home. Remember, celebrate responsibly.
Don't drink and drive. Just don't do it.
Happy Fiesta from your friends at Bud Light and Silver Eagle Distributors.
And the San Antonio Police Department.
Viva Fiesta!
Hey, what good is a brand new vehicle if you can't afford the down payment? At Red McCombs Toyota, you can keep your money for Fiesta and drive with absolutely no money down. Hurry and buy with zero down, zero state sales tax, and 0% for 60 months. Or get a new 2018 Camry just $279 a month, or a new 2018 Corolla just $239 a month. So hurry to Red McCombs Toyota under the giant flag on I-10 at UTSA Boulevard. RedMcCombsToyota.com.
What's going on?
A coup, sir.
One man decides if President Kirkman is mentally fit for office.
You sure you answer my questions?
Michael J. Fox joins the cast for the rest of the season.
I got a job to do.
New Designated Survivor tonight on ABC.
Fiesta starting tomorrow. All eyes on the weather.
It is. And for the most part, we're looking at the 7-day forecast. It looks like things will cooperate.
Sort of.
Saturday is the one day that we're going to have to keep a close eye on.
You had to add that.
Well, and I know the timing's not great, but we could use a little bit of rain. So maybe we can fit it in between events.
Have it rain at night.
That might work. Here's the humidity tracker, and you know we can't get a lot of cold air this time of year, but what we can get is some drier air, and that's starting to funnel in behind a frontal boundary that's shifting through South Texas as we speak. Dew point in San Antonio is still 63, but that dry air is just on our doorstep. We've got 20s and 40s, and that is very, very comfortable air. That'll be shifting in tonight, so it'll be a back porch kind of night. You can go outside and enjoy just some comfortable air, and that'll be around tonight and into tomorrow before the moisture starts to increase yet again ahead of our next storm system. We can see the front very clearly because we've got cloud cover right along the front, and it's shifting south, so we've had some on and off clouds. through the morning. It's really been pretty cloudy, but I think the clearing line moves through, and we'll see clearing skies going into this evening. There could be a few showers, though, down to the south of San Antonio as this front slowly makes its way in that direction. There's still perhaps enough moisture there, and there's just a little bit of lift to maybe get a shower or two going. But we had a break in the clouds. Now we're getting another round of clouds moving through here in San Antonio. Mostly cloudy at the airport. Temperature is at 75. Dew point is at 63, but we've got our northeasterly winds now, so that'll start to bring that dew point down. 77 in Kerrville, 76 Uvalde, 76 in Fredericksburg. The air behind this front is not necessarily cool. Again, it's just drier. And the winds now starting to pick up in Fredericksburg and Kerrville. So we're seeing winds at about 18 miles per hour, 15 miles per hour there in Kerrville. We could see some gusts higher than that, and so it will be fairly breezy into tonight. Gusts right now at 22 miles per hour in Fredericksburg. We've got storm, well, actually, this is our second storm here. Storm 1's back over here, but this is the second storm that we're watching that'll be moving in this weekend. And when it does move through, it should kick up some thunderstorms, as we talked about. Initially, this first front sort of washes out as it moves south. Again, maybe a shower or two tonight. And then we look towards Friday now, so we sort of fast forward here in time. This is the next system, and it'll be moving east. I think we'll get some pretty big storms on Friday evening out in West Texas, and then it moves in our direction. And on Saturday, during the day is when we could see some of these storms. Now, depending on timing, we could see a couple of strong storms too, and there's still a risk for that. And so we want to watch it very closely. I do know there's a lot of events going on, and we'll time it out for you best we can. Hopefully we just get some rain out of it and not severe weather. 81 this afternoon, some clearing, less humidity tonight. We drop down into the 50s. Cool and breezy. Northeasterly winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow, 77 for a high. Partly cloudy. That's not bad at all as we kick off Fiesta. 75 Friday. There is a slight chance we could see some showers, maybe a storm, and then a 40% chance on Saturday. Clears out, though, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And so, for the most part, again, Fiesta is looking okay.
That's okay in small letters.
Yeah. You're consistent with the 40% on Saturday, though.
Yeah, we're
so
sticking
far.
with that.
All
yes.
Right. We've got 2 more days.
Yeah.
Could change.
It's time to play your favorite game, Blinko Payday at Kickapoo Lucky Eagle Casino Hotel. Win your share of up to $120,000 in cash. 10 winners every Friday and Sunday.
Come and play. Economical cars and SUVs are on sale for you at World Car Hyundai North.
Why buy used when you can get new at prices like this?
2017 Hyundai Tucson SUVs save $5,000 now, only $18,995.
2018 Hyundai Elantras, only $14,800.
All backed by World Car's lifetime warranty and lifetime roadside assistance.
Save some money and visit World Car Hyundai North this week.
World Car, for a lifetime.
Manufactured Housing Consultants is your South Texas manufactured home financing specialist. Manufactured Housing Consultants carries 7 different lenders with 8 manufacturers that offer 20-plus financing programs. Land and home financing available with credit scores as low as 550 with only 10% down. We take trade-ins or use the equity in your land and pay nothing down. We also have programs for self-employed and programs for no Social Security ITIN customers. Manufactured Housing Consultants, the South Texas high-volume, low-price leader.
Kickapoo Lucky Eagle Casino Hotel invites you to come and play. Over 3,300 slots, a poker room, and live bingo. Join the new Players Club and play your way to greater rewards. Kickapoo Lucky Eagle Casino Hotel.
Come and play.
It started with thousands across America and is down to the top 14.
Developing Ada taught me that I don't have to be afraid to be who I am.
As a result of their back-to-back losses in Oakland, the Spurs have now lost 10 games in a row on the road. And now that the best-of-7 series shifts to San Antonio, the Spurs have one big advantage on the champs, a better home record. The Warriors went 29-12 at the Oracle Arena in the regular season, while the Spurs went 33-8 for the 3rd best home record in the league. LaMarcus Aldridge has been a monster this season and leading the Spurs in scoring and with 27 double-doubles. He led all in Game 2 with 34 points. Now, despite that loss Monday night, the Spurs say they have something to build on at home.
I guess the physicality that we brought in was a lot better than game one. We rebounded better. Hopefully we'll shoot better at home. That would help a lot, especially against this team. And we'll try to turn this around.
We can get them off their game and make them feel uncomfortable that way. I think that's what we've got to do. We just need to be consistent at that for majority of the 48 minutes, and that's hard to do. So, we got a great chance at home now to go back and amp that aggressiveness up.
Warriors head coach Steve Kerr wondered if his team could flip a switch heading into the postseason. That's after losing 10 of their final 17, with Steph Curry missing games due to a right ankle sprain and later a left knee sprain that has sidelined him to end the regular season and perhaps for all of the first round. He is set to be reevaluated this Friday right here in San Antonio. Now, still, the Warriors have flipped that switch with back-to-back wins behind the dynamic duo of Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson.
Just go out there and be myself. Be free-minded, have fun, 'cause it is basketball. It's supposed to be a lot of fun, which it is, and then just play hard. No one can make up Steph's, contributions individually. That's got to be done as a team, and even then it's hard with the way he can shoot the ball.
And Game 3 is tomorrow night at 8:30. Game 4, 2:30 in the afternoon, live right here on KSAT 12. And it is time to play ball. Houston at Seattle. The Astros snapping their 3-game losing streak last night. Top 6 tied at 1. Brian McCann certainly can. He goes 2-run shot to right field as the Astros go up 3-1. That one measuring 372 feet, and the Astros get the win 4-1. Game 3 of this series is later tonight. Texas at Tampa Bay, top 5, 2 on for Ronald Guzman, and he comes up clutch with a shot to right center and deep enough for a 2-run double as the Rangers go up 5-1. Guzman's only hit was a good one. Rangers win 7-2. The rubber match is going on right now. In Texas League last night, the Naturals shut out the Missions 2-0. San Antonio is now 7-5 on the season. The Valero Texas Open tees off this week with the Pro-Am today and the first round on Thursday at the JW Marriott Resort and TPC course. The field of competitors includes 2010 Valero Texas Open champion Adam Scott and the 10th ranked player in the world, Sergio Garcia, who was a consultant during the construction of this course.
Well, I think everything. Obviously, around the greens is tricky stuff. Driving it well is important because it helps a little bit going into these greens. And but with these windy conditions, there's a lot of solid, difficult holes out there.
Yeah, going to be an interesting 4 rounds of golf, that's for sure.
After his Masters, hopefully he can bounce back.
Right.
Stick around for the weekend.
Exactly.
Come on, Sergio.
Let's head over to SA Live in Market Square.
It is day 3, right? Day 3 of our SA Live Fiesta Medal giveaway.
I still think you need these as earrings.
You're going to turn these into earrings for me, aren't you?
Something like that. Earrings or cufflinks. Okay, the big giveaway, and David Elder, the clue is you look at your compass.
Yes. West side of town. It's the ultimate place to throw a party.
Kind of a new development out there.
So that is your clue on where today's Fiesta Medal giveaway is, and David Elder will be live there in a little bit.
125 of these to give away starting at 2 o'clock. So, all right, Fiesta Spirit.
In your home. Yep. Oh, yes. We are going to show you how to make these really cute DIY Fiesta centerpieces.
And if you want a really tasty centerpiece, how about this? Look at that.
Ooh.
Yeah, this could quench one thirsty person's thirst, or a whole bunch of folks there from Viva Via. We are going to show you how to make that. That looks like a party in a glass, let me tell you, with all the gummy bears on there.
So we've got our medal giveaway. How about another giveaway? This one from La Familia Cortez.
Zulema Garcia is here. What's you giving away over there?
So we have a Fiesta starter pack to give away. So everything that's in it, we have a flower crown, we have a fan, maracas, we have water bottles to keep you hydrated throughout the week. We have a Grand Marshal t-shirt and a Grand Marshal medal to throw in there so we can give away for all of y'all.
How do they win it?
Okay. So let me tell you how you can win. So you go on Mi Tierra's Facebook page, like our post, share our post, and comment your name, and we'll pick a winner by the end of the day today.
All right. We've got a great hawk burger coming up. That's on SA Live.
You hear the big news? What? No? It's the Honda Dream Garage Spring Event, and it's happening now. Did you see the size of that logo? Check out this brainy lawnmower, and would you look at this Civic? Yeah, this is no ordinary Civic. It's a Honda Civic with sport mode. You know what's in here that's faster than sport mode? Okay, the Indy car, but that's mine.
The Honda Dream Garage Spring Event is on now. You could get a great deal on the Civic, a KBB.com Best Buy for 2018.
Home Show returns to the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall April 20th through 22nd. The best place to meet local experts, get answers to all your home improvement questions, and see the latest products and services for your home. Don't miss Joey Green sharing house hacks that will save you time and money. Plus, architect and author Christina Lee Wiggins. All this and the free Kids Zone. The San Antonio Home Show, April 20th through 22nd at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. Tickets and schedule at TexasHomeandGarden.com.
My name is John Art, and I'm a happy rebath user of San Antonio. I'm not agile enough to step over in a tub. We went for just the walk-in shower. I can get in that shower and enjoy every minute that I'm in there and not be fearful of falling. I was so happy with our experience with Rebath of San Antonio. I want to go to work for them.
At Rebath, we only remodel bathrooms. If you're thinking about remodeling your bathroom, we would love to earn your business.
This is Vic Vaughn, owner of Toyota Bernie. During the 50% event, Tundras, $5,700 off, or take 0% interest for 72 months. We're going to half on over 200 Tundras during the 50% event at Toyota Bernie. Save $5,700 off, or 0% for 72 months on Tundras, but you gotta hurry to Toyota Bernie. I-10, exit 543 in Bernie, toyotabernie.com.
Want to check back in on our case of Community Phone Bank with the Texas Organ Sharing Alliance. Make the choice to donate life.
Call now to get your questions answered about becoming an organ donor. The number is at the bottom of your screen. It is 210-351-1363.
And temperatures have jumped up to 76 degrees now. We'll top out around 81 this afternoon. We've already got northeasterly winds now, so some drier air tonight. That means a cooler morning tomorrow. 56 on your Thursday, 77 for a high. Slight chance of rain Friday. Best chances will be on Saturday, but still, we're only talking about a 40% shot. But a few of those storms could be strong on Saturday, so we'll be watching that very closely.
Yes, we will. Thanks so much for joining us.
All right, let's take you back downtown. SA Live. I don't know about you, but I got a sugar high looking at that glass or whatever that was, all those gummy bears on the top of it.